Welcome to the Jim Show with your host, Jim. Today, I want to tell you about the way the world's changing and how you can secure yourself for the future, mainly financially. So, the first thing I want to talk to you about is cryptocurrency. The one you might have heard of is Bitcoin. You may have also heard of Ethereum. Now, the way to think about this is fiat currency, the US dollar, the euro, paper money, is like a landline telephone right now. And we're at that point in time where people were just starting to get those really bulky, big cell phones and people carry them around in their cars. That's cryptocurrency right now. And that's what's going to happen. Is where we are right now is where we're going to be, in a couple of years with cryptocurrency versus fiat currency. Do you know people that still have landlines? Probably a few. And what does everybody else have? They have a smartphone, right? There's been massive cats are killing each other. There have been massive changes and revolutions in cellular technology, right? Those big, huge, bulky cell phone things that you might have had in a car are now these smartphones that do a million different things. That is what is happening with cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, started out in 2009, has gone from having no value at all to $2,800 per coin today, and it's not going anywhere. Bitcoin is in fact like the great 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 grandfather of the cryptocurrencies that are coming up now. There have been that many iterations and changes already, in the years that have gone by. This is a technology that is changing at a massive, massive rate, and it's going to be the de facto way that value is exchanged by the human race. That is what's happening. That is what is going on. And I'm not telling you that you need to buy some right now. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you need to look into it and understand what's happening because it is something that you will be using in the future. Absolutely, you will be using it because everyone will be using it. It is just a matter of time. And based on the rate of change so far, it's not going to be that long. 10 years from now, we probably won't be using fiat very much at all. 10 years, 1 decade, it's going to be gone. Look how fast landlines went away. That's the rate of change. That's what the world is like now. So if you want to be secure in the future, figure out this cryptocurrency stuff. Look into it. Understand what Ethereum is. It's not even it's way more than a currency. Like cryptocurrency is a really bad misnomer for what's going on. These are tokenized, blockchain assets. Might be a better way to describe these things. They're being used for everything. Everything. Just look into it. Check out Cliff High. He's on Twitter. He has a web page. There are all kinds of people explaining what's going on. There's a ton to learn, but you got to understand it because this is what's happening. This is the future. There's no going back to the way things used to be. Once blockchain technology got out there into the open, it just is exploding with the different things that people can do with it. The creativity and use of this technology is absolutely astronomical. It's just massively increasing exponentially. That is what is happening. So if you don't get in and figure it out now, you're going to have no idea what's going on when your dollars start to just stop being used. Should you buy some? Maybe. You have to figure that out for yourself, but at the very minimum, you got to understand what's going on with this because this is the change, the massive change that's going to happen in the financial world and across all kinds of different technologies as well. The other thing that I would say you could look at is precious metals. They have been manipulated and held it down for decades and decades and decades. This information has come out. There's basically a big lawsuit about how the banks were working together to hold down the value of precious metals. The reason they've been doing that is so that fiat still looks like it's valuable, right? Because the actual price of precious metals would be way, way, way higher than they are, and people would have already been like, wow, this whole fiat thing's a bad deal. So this is another area where you could take some action, just put a little bit of your resources into some precious metals, physical precious metals. If you don't have it in your hand, you don't actually own it. It's something else important to understand. The same thing is true for the cryptos. If you don't have control of the private keys, you don't actually have them, the crypto asset. So that's something to understand right there. What the hell is a private key, right? So you got to look into it. You got to understand it. This is not a simple technology right now. Okay, it's pretty complex. You need to understand the security measures. You're your own bank, right? There's no one else to rely on. You are responsible for your own assets. I mean, that's the world that we're going into. You can't rely on a bank. You can't rely on the government. It's you. It's your own responsibility for your future. So I encourage you to look into these things. You know, you can spend your time watching the craziness in the political world and all the shenanigans that are going on, or you could actually look into what's going on and what's going to set you up for success in the future. Because this is what's coming down the pipe. And I'm making this video because I just want to have put this out there. I feel it's my due diligence to at least have said this. I've written about it, you know, in the blog. I wrote on Steemit some article years ago about this. I said, get some Bitcoin and get some silver, and you know, you'll be good to go. And if you got Bitcoin back then, you're in a pretty good position right now. Silver is still being held down very effectively, and that will probably go on for some time. But again, it's also going to take off here when all these strings come off, and it's happening. So just take a look, do a little research, understand the whole cryptocurrency thing. That's way more than a currency thing. Understand precious metals and what's been going on. Maybe get a little bit of both if that's something you feel is important. But most of all, I think that you should do the research and get an understanding of what's going on, because it's the mindset that's going to do you the most good in this time of rapid change. It's just understanding that things are going to change very quickly and that you need to change your actions based on that. So as long as you have the mindset, I think that you'll do well, you'll be okay. You can pivot to what you need to pivot to. And that's what I wanted to say. It's out there, so that's what I could do about it. I will see you tomorrow.